Hey, what up, y'all? I am Lou. So, just wanted to kind of do a little bit of streaming today. Actually, I haven't been on in a while, and I've been actually been very busy. Um, those of you who may not know, I have my own company, and we do software development. We deal a lot with integration projects, web apps, um, mainly integration projects, right? Integrating with Shopify, Amazon, which is a pain in the ass, um, Wayfair. What else? I'm just naming a few. WooCommerce. There's other platforms as well, of course. Or just integrating via EDI X12 EDI, which a lot of systems use, or iDocs for like SAP. Either way, not trying to go too detail and all that, but it's I just been real busy, which is good. I mean, from a business standpoint, it's good. Uh, Now the thing that kind of sucks is I haven't really been able to make videos the way I like. So I'm gonna try to do something different. I'm gonna try to squeeze in some streaming here and there, and hopefully answer questions that you may have as well. So any Python related question, I know some of the videos that I have done have been related on Python and Microsoft, whether it be SharePoint or some kind of Excel, Python and Excel, things of that nature. Even Python and Power BI, for example. So that's kind of the plan. I want to try to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to dedicate some time every day, do some streaming, just kind of share with y'all what I'm working on. Then, of course, you have questions, man. By all means, try to use this time and try to see what I could do to help y'all out on some of the issues you are having as well. So if you do have any questions, if you're working on a project, trying to stick to Python specifically, leave a comment, and maybe I could try to help you out. So just kind of show y'all right now. One of the things that I'm working on is, let me share my code with y'all. So ultimately, what I'm doing here is I have this state dictionary, right? Ultimately, I have all of my states. Then I'm converting the name to the state code, which is what you see here. Now, just kind of go through on what I'm doing here is um, I'm reading a folder, and let me show y'all the folder just so you can at least see what it is. Okay, so for example, I have this folder and called inbound, and of course I have with this file called transaction report. Let me just create another one because I mean technically we're going to have many. Right, there you go. We have 3 files in here. What this is going to do is I'm going to pass in a directory argument, which is what this guy is, right? Directory pass. Then ultimately, I'm going to go ahead and read all the files. I'm going to get back a list of all the files that belong in that folder that I provided, right, as an argument. And then what this is going to do, I'm using pandas, right? So this is where pandas comes in. It has the read Excel method, and ultimately you got to provide the pass, which in this case I'm providing my directory pass, which is what I'm passing in as an argument, and of course the file. So if it has multiple files, it's going to iterate over each file, and you can tell it puts it what it's doing. It put it into a data frame. If you're not sure what a data frame is, think of it just as it puts it into a object in memory that becomes just very accessible to manipulate using the Panda package. There's all kinds of stuff to read the data, manipulate the data, things of that nature. In this case, I'm using the OpenPY XL package as the engine. So whenever you're dealing with reading Excel files, there's a few packages out there. 2 of the ones that I would say that are more popular is what is it? It's It's going to be XRLD. Is that right? I think it is XRXLRD, my bad. And the other one is Open PYXL. All right, so these two. So you do have to install these packages. Again, I recommend create a virtual environment, and then in that virtual environment, create these two packages. In my case, though, really, I just need this guy. I don't need this guy. Now, the big difference is this guy reads the old Excel files, the .xls. OpenPY is able to read the newer Excel formats, the XLSX files, and that's obvious. You know, if I go back to my folder, you could tell that's what these are, XLSX, right? So, which is why I need the OpenPY. I believe by default, it wants you have to when you install pandas. I could be wrong, but I believe it installs the XLRD package automatically, and it tries to use that for the engine as a default. But in my case, I'm using a Excel sheet file that's actually newer. The newer version is the XLSX extension, so that's where the OpenPY comes in. And then ultimately I'll specify what's my header. In this case, my header is actually line 3, like row 3 of the file. And of course, I'm doing some manipulation. As you could tell here, I have 3 values here where I'm replacing the dollar character with blank. Ultimately, what's happening here, just kind of, again, this is a real project that I'm working on. I'm doing some transformation on the file, which is converting it from Excel to CSV. So as I converted from Excel to CSV, I'm also doing some manipulation, which is I'm removing the dollar character sign from the actual the column. And then also what I'm doing is, see how they have these state columns? So these are actually the state name, and I'm replacing them with a state code. Now the reason why I'm doing all of this is eventually what's going to happen in the process is once the file gets processed, it's generating a new file, which is going to be a CSV, again Excel to CSV. And then it's gonna, I'm loading this file into one of my S3 buckets. From the S3 bucket, I have a process in AWS Glue that is extracting this data from CSV, and then it's importing it into a Redshift staging table. And then once that's completed, the final process is it moves it from an S3 bucket to an archive S3 bucket, and that's pretty much it. There's actually a few things. So the staging table that it's moving into, it is truncating. The process is going to truncate that table. It's going to load data to that table. It's going to execute a procedure that resides in Redshift, and then once that's done, it ends up moving this file from the S3 bucket folder to an archive folder. So that's kind of high level what I'm doing, and this is a legitimate project that I'm working on for one of my clients. We're processing a lot of their data. Some of their data is actually pretty massive. One data source, I mean, we're dealing with about 60 gigs per file. A total, my bad, it's 2 files combined, like 60 gigs. Ends up being, man, like 50 million rows or so. But what's so complex about that file, it's a lot. The data is actually all pivoted into a column format. So it has like over 540 columns. Then of course you have like 1 million plus rows, and then so there's a lot of manipulation that's required on that to kind of unpivot it, pretty much put in a row structure. And then of course from there, same concept, go to the S3 bucket, it gets processed, loaded to database, so on and so on. But again, this is just something that that I'm working on. Nothing complex. I need to clean up the code some. Again, a lot of it was just me testing out, again, Excel to CSV. But there is some manipulation going on, which is these 5 columns: state name to state code, and then of course removing the $ characters from here. Now the reason why you got to remove it from here because this is a legitimate character, and if you try to load that into a decimal column in Redshift, it's gonna fail because it doesn't it only wants decimal numbers only. It does not want special characters, right? So because of that, you are gonna have issues. Then of course I'm just renaming it down here, and of course I'm giving the year, month, day, hour, minute, second part of the naming at the end. But again, that's just something that I'm working on right now, and yeah, I'm always working on something, right? I work on multiple projects. I seem to bounce around a lot. So whatever I could share with y'all, like not just talk about it, but actually share, like show y'all the source code of what I'm doing, I will. There's some stuff that is kind of hard to do just because I'm dealing with customers' data, and again, I'm not trying to expose their data or show their data, right? I mean, it's just not, um, just something I can't do, right? I don't want to get in trouble with the client either, and it's something that I just don't do at the business either. But if I could share with y'all some, I could explain on what I'm doing, and then whatever I can show y'all, I'll be more than happy to kind of show y'all what I'm working on. So one thing that I have been hearing back on some of my videos related to Python and SharePoint integration has been there have been errors on connecting to it. And some of these errors that people have been getting, for example, let's open up some of them right quick. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. Let me take a look at it. If I can. Or my bad, guys. I need to change the title. I noticed that uh, my title on being live says something different. So I was trying to get that updated. Let's see. Damn it, how do I change this? I guess I can't change it. The hell? That's fine. At least I know for next time. So let's go back to what I was going to do. So like some of the issues that people been having that I've been seeing is either authenticating to Office 365 whenever they use the SharePlump package. And based on some of the error messages that people are receiving, some of it is due to the way the organization has their access configured. So for example, let me get to it on my side. I can't really show y'all, but one of the things that I am going to do, something that I already kind of been thinking of doing, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it, hopefully to for the purpose of helping y'all out, is I'm gonna create another Office 365 account, a dummy one. So even if somebody sees stuff that they shouldn't, it's fine, right? It's not gonna have none of my personal information or none of that stuff. Um, but so I could show you more details, more of the admin section or all of that stuff. But there's a what is it called? Where is it? Um, I'm trying to find it. So either way, on an Office 365 under the Azure Active Directory section, there is a you're able to configure settings when related to access. So it's called a conditional access. So for example, an organization. Let me see if I can show y'all something right quick. So I don't have nothing set up on mine. I'm just trying to think if it's fine if I show you what I have, and I think it is. I don't see nothing that should worry me. So let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so for example, under the if, again, you got to be an admin, so you will need admin access, which is most likely if it's for your organization. You may not have admin access. You will need to connect with somebody, but nevertheless, though, there is a section, conditional access policies. Now, ultimately, this is where you can set up different policies. Like, to kind of give an example, you can set it up by IP address, VPN. I believe you need as well as device. Maybe they just want certain devices to have access to it, which is, let's say, an iPad, for example, things of that nature, which means you're trying to access it from another device, like a Samsung tablet. I mean, ultimately, you could have errors and have issues. So you could add like different levels of access, like named location. Um, there's different, you could put parts of the region as well, like let's say only U.S. regions or whatever certain areas. So some of the error messages that I saw that people were having seem to be related to that as well, where they weren't able to access. They're having named locations or even devices, which tells me that it probably not able to determine that that device that they're on happens to be either a corporate device or I think one of them was even a OS. Like they even had a restriction on a specific OS. I believe it was like Windows. But again, if you're using a Mac or Linux, then it won't work because they added that restriction to it. So that's kind of one of those issues. But there's so many different scenarios, and what I want to do is I'm gonna set up another Office 365 account first. That's what I want to do. Once I get that created, then we could play around with all of these settings for conditional access, and we could try some of the scenarios that I'm seeing of some of these errors where they can't connect due to name location or even OS or device and so on and so on. So I think once I do that, then I could play around with it, break it even, right? Just try different scenarios that people are having, like certain error messages that people were having, then try to replicate what needs to happen on the admin side. So even if If you do have access, you know where to make these changes on the admin side. If you don't have access, you could show my video to somebody that's an admin, and they could go around and make those changes, right? There's some workarounds as well that could be in place. Like one of them is for multi-factor authentication. That's an issue that people have been having as well. And again, that's something that there is a workaround for that. The workaround is to create a user, and that specific user will not have multi-factor authentication enabled, but you could limit their access to very specific things that are needed, and ultimately you could use that account to do some of the automation processes that you want. Again, that's part of the plan. That's something that I'm gonna once I get set up, I'll make a video. I may even live stream some of this stuff. So again, if it's something that you've been wanting, you could always look at the live stream, um, or just watch my live streams, I guess. But I get it, right? A lot of us are busy, so you can't always do that either. But nevertheless, that's something that yep, I do want to do, and I'm planning on doing. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Let's see. Um, what else am I working on? There's a few things that I'm working on. Just kind of, I'm doing a Power BI update on one from one of my clients on a Power BI report. Ultimately, we're merging two reports. We're merging them down to one. That's really what we're doing. So nothing too complicated, but the deal is on that merger. There were some changes I had to do to kind of more normalize the file naming. So it's taking a little bit longer than expected, but either way, it's that's something I'm working on. What else? There's a feature on this app, a web app for one of my clients. So they wanted to add some additional functionality. So I built them the web app, and normally what happens for some of my clients, once I build, let's say, a web app, I pretty much manage it for them. I manage their database. I manage the services. And then of course when they have uh, enhancements, since I control everything, I already have access to it. Then I give them a quote. We build out that feature, and then of course deploy it out, test it out, and deploy to production, so on. But either way, they're asking for there's a notification feature. Like anytime there's a new record created, for example, a notification gets sent out to a set of emails, group of people, and that in that email it has like a body. It's styled nice and looks nice. Doesn't look plain text. It has some style to it, some color, and so on. There's like a link in the body to click on it to open up that record. But ultimately, what they want is that email notification only occurs on new transactions. They want to be able to send a trigger of an email every time there's an update, but only by a specific user. So let's say in theory you could have 100 users using that platform out of but what they want is, hey, we want only specific users, whether it be 1, 5, 10, whatever it is, but we want specific users to, when they make an update, then a notification gets sent out to everybody. Now, why specific users? Again, that's just how they want it. A lot of the times, clients, it's just how they want to operate it. And that's fine, right? To me, it's not a big deal. But that's one of the things I have in the queue as well to work on. Got a few things on the queue, man. One of them, same thing, doing a WooCommerce integration. What else am I doing? There's some other projects that I have in the queue. I haven't started on them, but they're in the queue probably the next few weeks to start on it. And actually been pretty busy, man, to be honest with you. I'm at a point where I have a full-time employee helping me out. And then, of course, I have a few contractors that help me out. But I'm probably at a point where I may need to hire another full-time employee. If not, at least a contractor, but at least another full-time employee. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It just sometimes it's kind of tough though hiring people. Um, at least through my experience, man. Like I don't have time to go through and start vetting everybody and going to do very detail. Again, for me, a resume, dude, a resume is doesn't really tell you much. Like I get it, some people take resumes as you know, um, the word of stone, but people could lie, man, and people do it all the time. Um, which is why I don't take it that serious. I kind of ask my own questions. I kind of try to peel back the onion to kind of see exactly, what they know, what they don't know. And ultimately, man, I don't have time to be interviewing dozens of people either. Again, I don't, I'm a small, it's a small team to begin with, right? I don't have an HR department. I don't have all these other departments to kind of help out. I'm pretty much doing everything. So that's, some of the challenges being, when you're small like the way I am. I'm trying to scale slowly, and hopefully, over time I get there, but still you're kind of doing everything. Um, Again, if y'all have any questions related to Python, anything you may want to know, how do you get into programming? Maybe you want to know how I got into programming. How do you how does one gets business? Like how do I get clients? Um, how do one start a business? You know, what is an everyday what's a normal day for me? Right? Because again, I pretty much have my own schedule. I have my own business, have my own schedule. I work whenever I want to work. Now I do work a lot, and part of it has to do just because we're busy. And it's a good thing, right? Kind of there's this excitement of being busy, having a lot of new customers coming on and new projects and all that kind of stuff. And the thing that I think I like it a lot. Anyways, I think it's pretty cool. Is I deal with different types of projects as well. So one day I could be working on an immigration project, and then maybe in the next week I'm working on a web app, and then just kind of depends on what I'm working on. But there's different projects, right? I mean, it's not like just one thing. Sometimes maybe doing front end, maybe working on with JavaScript and Vue.js, and then the following week I'm doing a lot of back end. I'm working on Python, Django, I mean, or JavaScript, or whatever. It just depends. Um, so it keeps things interesting. I like it. I actually like it a lot. Like now that I have had my business already for what 3 years? I think it was 2018. So yeah, it's been 3 years and 3 full years. I started in September of 2018, so we're already September of 2021. So it's been 3 years now, and dude, I'm like, I don't know if I could go back and work for somebody anymore. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing and that people should like not want to work for somebody. There's some owners, there's some bosses, and that are very cool to work with and work for and all that. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But once you do it for a while, and it's kind of tough, man. Like I'm used to having my own schedule. I'm used to working whenever I feel like working, whether it be sometimes early, sometimes it could be very late. Just doesn't matter. I have a very flexible schedule. Like I pick up my daughter from school, so I could leave and go pick her from school. Where if I work somewhere 8 to 5, then I'm pretty much become a little bit more tougher. Cause now I gotta leave early every day to pick her up, and a lot of people, a lot of companies don't like that, right? So I mean, there's so many things about it that makes it more of a reason why I don't think I would go back, like working for somebody else, unless I had to. But man, my company fell next year, and I'm just like, man, no revenue coming in. And yeah, it's a different story. I go and give me software, give me um, software developer job. I'm very confident I could get one if I needed to be without an issue. That's what I do if I have to do, but there's no need to do it, so I'm not trying to do that. Um, what else did I want to mention with y'all? Again, you could email me. I have an email account. It's at contact at imlou.net. So, man, you're more than welcome to send me any kind of email that maybe you don't want to put on the chat, because again, you put on the chat, everybody could see it. But if you want to contact me direct, contact me at contact@iamlou.net. Send me if you're having any issues with Python and whatever project. You can send me the error messages that you're getting. You're more than welcome to share any source code that you may have if you like. I mean, it's up to you. Um, or you just have questions that you may want to ask that you don't want to put in the chat. You're more than welcome to contact me that way as well. Let's see. But again, what I'm doing here with the streaming, something different, something new. I want to get back to making content. I want to be able to share with y'all some things as well. There's some things that, man, I think we probably just explore. We could do it together instead of me going through and figuring it out and making a video of it. I may just stream it. We'll learn it together. We'll explore together. I'll stream it. It'll be there for the viewings. And hopefully it helps y'all out, man. Again, damn, my camera. Not sure what the hell happened to my camera. Let's see if I could get it working. I have been having issues though, for whatever the reason. Okay, there it goes. Let's see if this works. Yep, I think we're good. I may need to give me another camera, man. Like, so I've been using my Canon M50. So those of y'all who are thinking about getting a camera, I like the camera. Quality is awesome. It's reasonable price. I mean, I think you can get it probably for sure used for under $500. It's a good camera. It really is. What sucks about it though is it only lasts 30 minutes, then it shuts off. Kind of like the way it did right now. It shuts off. So you got to turn it off, turn it back on. Now there is some workaround ways to kind of keep it active, which if you have their app, and ultimately if you connect to it through Bluetooth, and then you have to just kind of be active on the app. What it does, it keeps the connection active. So, which means the camera doesn't go to sleep. But I hate doing that, man. Sometimes like right now, I forgot to do it, and of course, it turned off on me. So it just kind of sucks. And again, we'll see. I've been making videos, and I've been getting some small following. Again, I'm very, very, starting off slowly with YouTube, and I do want to spend more time. And I feel like I could bring some value to help y'all out. That's the main reason why I'm doing it, right? I'm trying to see where I could fit in this big ecosystem of YouTube and what value I could bring to everybody else. Which is why I'm putting it out there where you could contact me at contact@iamlou.net. And I'll put that on the chat too, so people who may be watching this and missed it, you can iamlou.net. Oh damn, it didn't come out right. Shit. Either way, so hopefully, if there's any issue that you have with your project, I'd be more than happy to take a look at it, give you some input, and hopefully it helps you out. Again, hopefully those of you who watched, I'm going to try to make this more valuable. This is something I want to try to squeeze in at least every day, 1 hour. And I think I have some projects in mind that I think we could work on together while I stream, which is I need to get the Microsoft set up, my Office 365, my new account for Office 365. Once I get that set up, then I think we could do some live streaming and kind of walk through that process for conditional access and see the different scenarios when we're dealing with name, location, device, OS, so on and so on, right? So once I get that set up, hopefully we could, I'll do a live stream over that. What else, dude? And that's it, man, for now. So I am gonna try to pump out another video this week. Probably gonna be something related over to Python and Microsoft. So look out for that. Hit that like, man. Go ahead and follow me. And again, send me your questions, man. Any questions you have, be more than happy to help y'all out. Whatever I could do. And those of y'all who watch, man, thanks for watching, and hopefully see y'all again tomorrow.